CentOS is a Linux distribution that attempts to provide a free, enterprise-class, community-supported computing platform which aims to be 100% binary compatible with its upstream source, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. In January 2014, it was announced that CentOS was officially joining forces with Red Hat while staying independent from RHEL, under a new CentOS Governing Board. The first CentOS release in May 2004, numbered as CentOS version 2, was forked from RHEL version 2.1 AS. As of versions 5.10 and 6.5, CentOS officially supports x86-64 and x86 architectures required for the latter, while a beta release is expected to be available for the PowerPC architecture. History: before it adopted the CentOS name, CentOS Linux originated as a build artifact of CaOS Linux. Several of the CaOS contributors at the time were merely interested in this build artifact for their own use, citing difficulties in collaborating with other noteworthy Red Hat Enterprise Linux clones of the time. In June 2006, David Parsley, the primary developer of Tau Linux, announced the retirement of Tau Linux and its rolling into CentOS development. Tau's users migrated to the CentOS release via Yum Update. In July 2009, it was reported that CentOS's founder, Lance Davis, had disappeared in 2008. Davis had ceased contribution to the project, but continued to hold the registration for the CentOS domain and PayPal account. In August 2009, the CentOS team reportedly made contact with Davis and obtained the CentOS.info and CentOS.org domains. In July 2010, CentOS overtook Debian to become the most popular Linux distribution for web servers, with almost 30% of all Linux web servers using it. In January 2014, Red Hat announced that it would sponsor the CentOS project, helping to establish a platform well suited to the needs of open-source developers that integrate technologies in and around the operating system. As the result of these changes, ownership of CentOS trademarks was transferred to Red Hat, which now employs most of the CentOS head developers. However, they work as part of the Red Hat's open source and standards team, which operates separately from the RHEL team. A new CentOS Governing Board was also established. Design: RHEL is available only through a paid subscription service that provides access to software updates and varying levels of technical support. The product is largely composed of software packages distributed under free software licenses, and the source code for these packages is made public by Red Hat. CentOS developers use Red Hat's source code to create a final product very similar to RHEL. Red Hat's branding and logos are changed because Red Hat does not allow them to be redistributed. CentOS is available free of charge. Technical support is primarily provided by the community via official mailing lists, web forums, and chat rooms. The project is affiliated with Red Hat but aspires to be more public, open, and inclusive. While Red Hat employs most of the CentOS head developers, the CentOS project itself relies on donations from users and organizational sponsors. Versioning and releases: CentOS releases. Before version 7.0, CentOS version numbers have two parts, a major version and a minor version, which correspond to the major version and update set of Red Hat Enterprise Linux that was used to build that version of CentOS. For example, CentOS A6.5 is built from the source packages of RHEL 6 up to Tier 5, which is a so-called point release of RHEL 6. Starting with version 7.0, CentOS version numbers also include the third part that indicates month stamp of the source code the release is based on. For example, version number 7.0-1406 still maps this CentOS release to the 0th update set of RHEL 7, while 1406 indicates that the source code this release is based on dates from June 2014. Using the month stamp allows installation images to be reissued for oncoming container and cloud releases, while maintaining a connection to the related base release version. Since mid-2006 and starting with RHEL version 4.4, which is formerly known as Red Hat Enterprise Linux 4.0 Update 4, Red Hat has adopted a version naming convention identical to that used by CentOS. Add-ons releases. Software Collections is a repository providing a set of dynamic programming languages, database servers, and various related packages that are either more recent than their equivalent versions included in the base CentOS system, or are available as official CentOS packages for the first time. Packages available from the SCL are not replacing the default system tools provided with CentOS. Instead, a parallel set of tools is installed in the /op directory, and can be optionally enabled per application by using the supplied SCL utility. For example, the default versions of Perl or MySQL remain those provided by the base CentOS installation. End of support schedule. In accordance with the Red Hat Enterprise Linux lifecycle, CentOS 5, 6 and 7 will also be supported for 10 years. Previously, CentOS 4 had been supported for 7 years. Releases without upstream equivalents, LiveCD and LiveDVD images contain a bootable compressed file system, created by a set of custom scripts using a Kickstart configuration file. These live images can be also installed to hard disk, thus obtaining a fully functional CentOS installation. The set of packages installed that way on a hard disk cannot be adjusted during the installation, as that is a simple transfer of the image existing on CD/DVD, to a hard disk. After booting from hard disk, YUM can be used for adding or removing packages. Minimal CD images are containing a minimum of packages needed to have a functional installation, with no compromises made regarding security or network usability. These minimal images use the standard CentOS installer, with all of its regular features minus the selection of packages. YUM can be used after installation for adding or removing packages. Architectures. CentOS supports only the x86 architectures, x86 with physical address extension, x86-64. The following architectures are not supported by CentOS: x86 without physical address extension, IA64, PowerPC/32, IBM mainframe, Alpha, SPARC. A live-CD version of CentOS is available at mirror.centos.org. A live USB of CentOS can be created manually or with init boot-in. CentOS images are also available on Amazon's EC2 cloud, in form of pre-built and already published AMI images. Repositories. There are several additional repositories provided by the CentOS project, offering software packages that are not included in the default base and updates repositories. CentOS Extras contains items that provide additional functionality to CentOS without breaking its upstream compatibility or updating the base components. CentOS Plus contains items that actually upgrade certain base CentOS components, changing CentOS so that it is not exactly like the upstream provider's content. CentOS Stinger serves as a proving ground for packages on their way to CentOS Plus and CentOS Extras. Offered packages may or may not replace core CentOS packages, and are not guaranteed to be functioning properly. CentOS Fast Tracker contains bug fix and enhancement updates issued from time to time, between the regular update sets for point releases. This repository does not provide security updates. CRA makes generally available packages that will appear in the next point release of CentOS. It is performed on a testing and hotfix basis, until the actual point release is formally made available in form of ISO images. Debuginfo contains packages with debugging symbols generated when the primary packages were built. Contrib contains packages contributed by CentOS users which do not overlap with any of the core distribution packages. See also: Fedora, list of Linux distributions, Red Hat Enterprise Linux derivatives, notes. References. Further reading: Membry, Peter. The Definitive Guide to CentOS. A Press. ISBN A978-1-4302-1930-9. Negus, Christopher. Timothy Baronkuk. CentOS Bible. Wiley. ISBN A978-0-470-48165-3. External links: official website, CentOS at DistroWatch, CentOS.org Wiki, additional repositories, PowerStack, a CentOS repository with latest LAM versions.